And we're live. So every time I listen to like any kind of radio station,
Yeah.
they always say, if you guys could only hear what we were talking about offline, now I know what they mean.
Yeah.
If you guys could only hear what we were talking about offline.
So I had a friend who used to be in.
Was he a
He used
VJ?
to do radio. Yeah, he used to do radio back when that was the social media aspect of it. And he was telling me, he goes, when you go to commercial break, I could eat an entire Big Mac in a commercial break. Like, you just get good at it. Like, you just get down to that timing of eat, 3, 2, 1, welcome back, and you're done. And he goes, that's what you have to get used to.
I would figure out how to eat while we're on there.
I mean,
Because I'm a fat ass. And I eat slow. You can ask anybody that's ever eaten me, I eat really slow.
yeah.
And I would just figure out, or I would just take a bite during the break, and then we'd come back, and then I would take it back.
Yeah, just
when-
we would have to get food that didn't like solidify.
So when I used to live with our producer Rick, because there was a time I lived with him, I had the earplugs in the wrong ears, and whether it was we ordered food or his wife made food, whatever, we just had food there, right? I would get served first, every single time, for whatever reason. I would just get served first.
There's one reason.
Yes, but I'm gonna say for whatever reason.
Okay.
I would get my food first, and then I would start eating. Rick would sit down, Michelle would sit down, and they'd be done. And I would still have a bunch of food left over, and I'd still be eating. And then I'd be like, damn, do I eat that slow? Or do they eat that fast? And I come to the realization that I just eat that slow. And I don't know if I was going with that, but I just thought it was funny because...
I know what you mean, dude. And
in construction, you have to eat fast. Because you have
he
to
says
go
in
get your
construction, I eat
food,
fast.
eat your food, and get ready back for work. 30 minutes.
I'd be like on my phone.
yeah, I mean, no, you're on your phone during poop time.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone all the time.
There is no poop time in construction.
Yeah.
Who wants to poop in an outhouse?
So you're full of shit? Is that what you're saying?
All day until I get home.
Okay.
So, while I was...
Yvette eats slow,
Yeah.
and I'm sure at this point I'm gonna tell her, go ahead and skip forward a few minutes. You don't want to hear this, and she will. Yeah, no, she eats slow. Oh my god, like, it's ridiculous. It's just.
Is it that big of a problem? Did you have a problem when I ate slow?
No.
What's the issue then?
On my phone.
For me, I've moved, like after I eat,
I only have one problem with you, Rich.
Leaving the sodas out? I would leave
Just
sodas
leave
out
out
on
the
accident.
Every day. Every day.
yeah.
Every night. Every day.
See,
Okay,
my thing is after
I-
I feed her, I want to stuff her.
Yeah, like a
And-
turkey.
Yeah, and it just takes a lot longer. Maybe she doesn't want to.
I will say this though, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go off of your sexual innuendos over here.
Yeah.
But if that's the one thing that Rick hates about me, me living with him,
That's pretty good.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
pretty good.
can really live with that.
I don't even hate it about it. It was.
It's just
I
me.
hated hearing Michelle bitch in my ear
Hey,
about
well.
fucking sodas.
We're gonna go ahead and edit that out.
That was edited out. Don't worry. Yeah,
No,
he
no.
said he got tired of Michelle bringing it up during family meetings.
No.
So, and again, to build off your.
And Michelle loves Richard.
Oh,
By
we're
the
still
way.
talking about this.
Yeah, we're still talking about this.
Michelle does love Richard. Michelle loves everybody who's like halfway decent human.
No,
being.
Michelle loves Richard.
Oh,
Because I'm amazing.
apparently I'm shit.
Your chopped liver.
Yeah.
No.
Or your
That's not what I said.
chicken fried rice.
Ooh. To build off that innuendo of stuffing, I fucking hate stuffing.
Me too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do not eat stuffing.
I like stuffing.
Oh,
Stuffing's so good.
Before we went to break, Rich, we were talking about this asshole, or these assholes, who decided to change our traffic patterns to put stop signs in random places or traffic circles in the middle of a residential place, or stop me from making a right turn for no fucking apparent reason at 2 in the morning. And I said that they needed to be executed. I'm gonna throw out some terms, and you tell me if it would bother you. So, I said they needed to be executed. Did that bother you? Did you take offense to it?
No, I think that was a what's the word what I'm looking for? Or like a phrase or like
Phrase.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Colloquialism would be the general term. No,
I believe that just sounds
Yeah.
like a medieval times like a like a saying almost is what I'm trying to get at.
That's what colloquialism.
I know,
Okay.
but that's not the words I'm looking for.
If I would have told you whoever designed those should have been beaten to death, would you have a problem with that?
No, because I think that's just like a saying. Like that's just
With stop signs?
he's just saying in general. Like
I'm just
okay.
throwing out some terms. Would it bother you, producer Rick, if I said the person who designed the shitty knob inside your backhoe should be beaten to death with a tire iron? Would you take offense to that?
Not offense, but maybe I agree with it.
But maybe he agrees with it. No, so he's not offended. Rich, if I told you that the designer of these traffic circles in a residential area, pointless stop signs, should be hung from a tree, would that bother you?
What nationality are they?
I mean, unfortunately, what Rick just said is really the question that's going to be the follow up question, and I think I know where you're going with this.
Let me ask you this. If I said the inventor of the residential traffic circle or the stop sign in the middle of nowhere should be put into a gas chamber and killed, would that bother you?
Also racist, but
It's getting insensitive, right?
Yeah, I think because okay, I guess the way I want to like, and I think I know which route you're going down, or which street. No pun intended. I think that because there's so much history, bad history, obviously.
With being beaten to death?
Well, that's a very generic.
With a tire iron.
I mean, that happened recently in Pico, like, but that's like one incident.
Right.
But when you say gas chambers, that's like
Or
pretty
hung.
specific. You know what I mean? Or if he said hung, or in other cases,
I do like being hung.
well, you're not. So,
You mean hanged.
are you hung?
yeah,
Well, I'd like to say I'm hung.
Okay.
But if you were going to kill me by putting a rope around my neck, I would have been hanged.
Oh, sorry. So you're correct. You're neither hung
Can't
nor
be
I'm gonna
snapping
hang
at
you.
just hung.
But I think the truth is though, because there's history behind, there's like specific history behind it,
Uh-huh.
is which is what makes it,
Offensive?
yeah, where
Right.
people will not be okay with that terminology.
Yeah. See, what's funny is when I think of someone being hanged, I think of the cowboys in the Old West, which is odd. I think of a white guy
Because they used to hang people all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you use that term, oh, they should be lynched, it automatically defaults to
Like the South.
a black
and, yeah,
person. Okay. And the reason I bring this up, and I know we talked about it earlier, and so for our audience, there is a NCAA football coach, and he coaches the Florida Seminoles and Florida State Seminoles, and he is a black man. He has not had the best
Year.
year. Okay. And
As far as
Record.
football goes.
Record.
Okay.
Record. And we are speaking solely on football. I don't know how he is as a person. Let's say he is an upstanding citizen.
You would assume because he got a national fucking football or college football.
Do we go Sandusky on this one?
No, first off, he wasn't head coach.
That's true.
Secondly, I said assume.
Okay.
Because
I'll assume with you.
for every Sandusky's, how many fucking great?
5,238.
Yeah, there's.
No, I got you.
The numbers don't go in their favor.
Yeah,
so.
the majority, press goes to the Sanduskys,
Yeah,
but there are
you're going to the
thousands.
extreme. You're going to the extreme.
There are thousands of Division I collegiate coaches who take the time to mentor.
Even the ones that
kids.
are bad head coaches, as far as like not being able to get a team to be good,
Yeah.
they're still for the most part good people.
They're
So anyway, continue. though.
overwhelmingly. So
What's up, D? Welcome back, dude. Oh, you're telling us to welcome back.
thanks, D. It's good to be back. It's good to be healthy. Get rid of that herpes. So he's the coach of the Florida Seminoles, Florida State Seminoles. I keep saying that wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, I think deal, dude.
He has had a bad.
Oh.
I like that. I know it probably reminds you of Atlanta Braves. Yeah.
But we beat them, so we're good.
There's something about that. There's certain stadiums
It's,
that I want to be a part
it's
of.
the motion, I think.
Maybe. He has not had the best record this year in football, and a person posted that
On Twitter?
I think it was Facebook, that he should be lynched. That person has since lost his job. Now, this was not a job at
the person tweeted?
the person that,
Or
that
Facebook or whatever?
posted something on social media. He does not work for the school. He does not work for the football program or anything like that. But he's lost his job based off of what he said. And I'd like to get your thoughts, Rich, on what this person said. And I have no problem with you taking a neutral point of view to not get further backlash onto us. But what do you feel about him getting fired?
Well, what did he say?
He said, okay, let's take a look at it here because I don't want to misquote. So,
Real quick, D, we asked on the podcast that Brody would come on. I think this would be a perfect week. He needs to defend himself. If you listen to the first hour, we talked about the situation.
We did, yes.
So
there was a his name is Willie Taggart. So
that's what the football coaches.
the football coach.
Okay, that was the guy that posted it or whatever.
The post has been considered racist and insensitive. That much I can see. But I actually would disagree with that aspect of it.
Of what? It being racist?
Being racist. As I said earlier, when you talk about someone being hanged, I don't immediately go to a black individual. I think more of a Old West, put him on a horse, tie a rope around his neck, slap the horse's ass, horse takes off, and you got somebody who's just kicking. But I understand that's not everybody's point of view, and that's not everybody's background. But
What was said though? I want to hear what was said, but you can't pull that up.
I'm looking, so give me a second here. I'm doing some research. Normally we give this to our producer, but he's decided to drink, and so he's drunk.
Well, okay. Well, then, while you're pulling that up, I guess one. I'm assuming hanging is, or maybe lynching is a key word in the.
Yeah,
in the term, or
and maybe
what are
that
they
term. I know based off of the history of the Old West to call it lynching. Hell, Jack Daniels is made in
Tennessee.
Lynchburg,
Yeah.
Tennessee. So it's like I don't see it the same way. But I'm interested in your.
Well, I'm obviously like. I mean, for what.
I'm researching as fast as I
That's
can.
fine, I'm
I
looking
probably
up-
should have done this during our break, but we were making drinks and
Yeah, I found it.
talking about booties.
Don't worry, dude. I'll do your job for you.
Great.
So I'm a component of obviously for like freedom of speech and being able to say what is on your mind, and I'm definitely someone that lives by that. Let's see, what is he right? But you also got to understand that we're not in a time of where what you say online is not published to the world. So like even the things we talked about today, yesterday, or last week, the week before.
We'll have to answer for him someday.
Well, but I also don't think there's anything that we've said that's super. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe.
It may be offensive to someone, but
Trust me.
I would put it back to
Will you be right?
when you're an actor. Okay, so like I'm just trying to think. Leonardo DiCaprio, and he does Django. Okay, and he has to use the N-word. That's not something that I would throw around on air. But yet he was able to do it for an entire movie.
Well, that's different. I feel like that's like theatrics. Like they know that's not necessarily his actual views on anybody. I'm sorry. I guess what I was trying to get at is, like, we're on a platform now. Like, whether you're a fucking actor or you're just Joe Schmo like we are, like, you're on a platform. Like, and anything you post can and will be used against you, regardless of whether you like it or not. On Twitter, you can like something, you can retweet something, you can think something's funny, and it can be used against you like later on. I mean, we've had a segment about people getting in trouble because of old Twitter comments or Twitter responses or Twitter.
Who was that? There was
Josh Hader from
There you go.
Milwaukee.
There you go.
I just think that you need to be aware of that, but also understand that, understand your consequences. I mean, I know we fuck around a lot on this podcast, and I mean, fuck, if someone from my job wants to listen to every one of our podcasts, first, thank you. Secondly, if there's something that I've said that's offensive to somebody, especially if it's like racist, I mean, I'll deal with it at that moment. I mean, but if you first off, when you say you're gonna lynch somebody, you're saying you want to kill them.
Yeah.
So, if you were to take the lynching out of it and just saying, I want to beat the guy with the fucking hammer till his eye sockets explode, like, you're still saying you want to kill somebody, and I would still say you should be fired over that. Because
Really?
Well, I don't think that you should be wishing death on people, especially, I mean, that's pretty much like, what is it called? Premeditated murder. Like, you're saying it out loud. Like, I'm sorry, if I say I want to kill you, and then 3 weeks later you die, like, I would come in as a suspect.
Right.
Because I said that.
I'll agree with you that you would become a suspect.
Yeah. Whether or not I did it or not, I mean, if you're not here in 3 weeks and me and Marco take over the show, that's besides the point. But
Did Marco say he wanted to kill me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Damn it.
But we do have a nice tree out front.
Ah, shit.
That was not cool.
That was not. I assumed you would put me in an internment camp first, as they did to my family. World War II. Look it up. Manzanar. Hashtag Manzanar.
I'm gonna go to the restroom and drop a bomb.
Oh, that was good though. Here, I guess I disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because I think, and maybe I am being hypocritical because of my stance on what Colin Kaepernick said and did, and I do remember when I talked about him, it was, look, you have the freedom to say and do what you want to do, but what you don't have is freedom from repercussions. Now, this person said something and it was deemed insensitive by, let's say, 99% of the population, fine, and he lost his job. That falls 100% back into the Colin Kaepernick status of, you have the right to say and do what you want. Well, no, back up. You have the right to say what you want, but you don't have the freedom of repercussions. And so it does fall into that. I think where I'm bothered is that while he may have meant it in a racist manner, that's immediately where everybody went. And
I'm assuming the guy was white, that said it.
I have no idea. And that is, I'm trying to look it up. I have no idea. Let's assume that he is. Just like if I were to say, this guy needs to be drug out of the city and thrown into the deepest well.
Is it drugged?
Not
Is it drug? I don't
Drugged.
know. Because you called me out on my hunt.
Well, let's go with it. I don't necessarily think that because you say someone needs to be hanged from the tallest tree, that it's a racist term. Now, if you want to fire someone because they're an idiot, and you probably shouldn't post shit like that, He does work for a hotel. There is a bit of, you have to think about the brand of your company. I know you do, I know I do. We are who we are, we say what we mean, but we do that with the safety of knowing, you know me and I know you, that
And I don't get me
we're
wrong,
not
I know,
bigotrous people.
I know we also push the boundaries for
We do,
sure.
100%.
But I think going back to the Colin Kaepernick thing, and I'm not trying to get like all too political or whatever, but he definitely knew what he was doing,
Right.
And he knew that he was going to be the scapegoat, and he was probably going to be, is it called ostracized?
Yes, very
Uh,
good use of that word, by the way.
He was definitely going to be put in a position where he wasn't going to be able to get a job again, right?
Right.
But the reality is, people are like, oh, he deserves a job. I mean, he probably does.
Since
But
when?
no, hold on.
Go
He
ahead.
he
Sorry.
deserves a job as far as talent goes. Okay. But as an owner of a corporation, I don't give like if my corporation says you cannot smoke weed while working with me,
Mhm.
but you're the greatest at what you do, and I want to be
A pothead.
a pothead, or no, I mean that person I want to hire is a pothead. You have to make a choice as a company. Do I bend the rules for this one person that's amazing what they do, or do I stick to my fucking guns or whatever? I know this is not necessarily apples to apples, but what I'm getting at is you have a policy in place, so this person is not
Mm-hmm.
going to work for you, right? So in this case, they don't have a policy in place, but it's still their business,
Right.
and they have the choice to hire that person or not. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that because of the actions that he has, that Colin has done, and this guy now,
This person, yeah.
I mean, you kind of just have to live with it and just understand that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you especially this person that's not in such a public eye. It's not that difficult for someone to fucking screenshot, even if you're private,
Right.
and share what you wrote and say you're fucking
Right.
racist and bigot or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that difficult.
And to your point, I'll add to that, and I'll agree with you. Chick-fil-A, for example, they're not open on Sundays. They're in the Atlanta Falcons stadium. Who plays on Sundays? Is it poor business practice?
Probably.
That's for economics, but Chick-fil-A is doing pretty well as a company. That's their stance. If for no other reason, I respect them for saying, we'll say goodbye to that business on Sundays. We're paying our bills, much like your fantasy football team. We're paying our bills. We're in that stadium, but we're going to close. I'm all for that. Where I'm concerned is putting such a hard and fast line down in the sand for this person.
I think that's where the open-mindedness comes into play, though. Like where people right away. Okay, so how many times has somebody said something and they're like racist, and it's like, whoa, like
Why?
we joke around on this fucking podcast all the time
All the time.
about whether it's Japanese people, Mexican people,
Right.
everybody in between. Like, I'm not fucking racist. I know you're not racist. Am I prejudiced? Hell fucking yeah. And anybody that says they're not fucking prejudiced is a goddamn
Fuck
liar.
you, you're a goddamn liar.
You know,
We're all-
I
prejudice is prejudging someone. You cannot not be
This is
prejudiced.
a little off subject, but I had a conversation with Joanna's boyfriend's best friend, right? Yeah, he's a big black guy.
Jason's friend.
Yeah, Jesus friend. And we were talking about something, whatever, and he was talking about how like he's getting treated a certain way at work. You know, he feels that he's getting
Mm-hmm.
whether it's racist, prejudice, whatever. Like he just,
I get it.
it's not
It's
working.
his point of view.
Yeah, it's his point of view, whatever, right? So then that subject turned into like something a little different, and then a little different after that. And I was like, look, man, like, I'm not racist. Like, I really not. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what race, nationality, fucking sexual preference. I don't really care. I know we joke a lot about all that stuff,
All of it.
but it's
Yeah.
really because I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do and what you like, and I really don't care who you are as an individual. And as long as you don't fuck me over,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm good in my life, right? But on the flip side, when I used to live in Long Beach, and I used to walk home from the bars, I told him, if there would have been 3 big black dudes walking down the street, cornrows in their hair, baggy clothes, tattoos on their face, I'd clinch up a little,
You're concerned. Mm-hmm.
you know? And is that being racist or is that being prejudiced?
Prejudice.
And I think I think it's 100% being prejudiced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Because here's the.
I'm being told by the general stupid, you know, whatever
Media,
TV
yeah,
media,
yeah.
like,
that you're a racist.
no, not, well, yeah, that I'm being racist, but that I should be concerned. That's the thought that goes through my head because of what I've been kind of like fed or whatever, or maybe experience that I've had. But it doesn't necessarily mean that those three people are bad people.
So here's how I kind of I weigh out that moral conundrum with you. You got three guys walking towards you, 2:30 in the morning after drinking. They're walking, facing you, down the street at a bar. You clinch up. You're concerned. Would you feel the same way if they were bald-headed Mexicans with oversized Dickies,
Yes.
plaid polo shirts?
Yes.
So now, are you racist against Mexicans? No.
No.
Because how can you be? You're Mexican. What it tells me is that you're prejudiced. You have prejudged the situation because that's what prejudice
And
is.
prejudge the person too.
And not just the person, but the scenario, the time, the everything, location. So you're a little prejudiced against Long Beach. If it was Beverly Hills, might it be different? Yes.
They probably wouldn't be there.
But maybe they're rap stars who own mansions.
That's me being prejudiced too, though.
But again, we prejudge every situation.
But I guess.
But it's not bigotry and it's not racist. It's not hateful.
But going back to the original point though is the problem with society or the general public or you know the fucking Twitter world that we're in. You could say something and people are gonna run with it, and that's
Doesn't
who you
matter.
are.
Yep.
That's who you are, and you're fucking racist, and you're this, and you're that. I mean, we had the same thing with Salcido. Remember, people thought that Salcido was fucking just totally anti-government, anti-this, and we know him, and we know that although some of it may be true as far as him wanting to push people to a certain way,
A lot of it was canned. Like the boasting up, inflating one side
he wanted you to go to school rather than go
to
to
make a
fucking
point. Exactly.
military. Which, like I said in the podcast, my mom did the same thing to me. She did not want me to go in the military, and I don't think that either of them are fucking anti-military.
Right.
I just think
Your
that
mom
they
doesn't hate America.
they
because of
wanted
it.
something different for you in your life, but you get put in a corner, you get put in a fucking category, and you're that person. And that's really what the issue is. I think, like, for me at least.
So, one of the things you said, and you were talking to Jason's friend, and
I really wish I could tell you the whole context of the story, but I don't remember.
okay. And I know we're on this show, and we make fun of every race. You make fun of Asians, I make fun of Mexicans, and
Make fun of white people too.
we make fun of everyone. One of the things that I have kind of formulated and I've put together in my own life is that if you were to bring someone new around, let's say a coworker who doesn't hang out with our group of friends, I wouldn't immediately walk up and just start clowning him, joking on him, because I don't know him.
You gotta fill people out.
You got to feel them out, and then you got to feel comfortable with them. One of the biggest compliments that I think we can pay to races that are different than ours is the fact that we can joke about it. Because if you can joke with someone, there's a comfortability with them. There's a
I love how you drug that word out.
no, I try. There's an even playing field. We don't see ourselves as superior in that aspect because of skin color, whatever it might be. If we did, then it would be looked at as bullying. We would really be belittling a different ethnicity,
You know what I judge people on?
their character.
No.
Oh, I was going to say that Martin Luther King did, and that would have really helped our argument.
I judge them on their beer pong game.
Ooh.
Because if they fucking suck at beer pong,
Uh-huh.
I can't be around them.
So many things wrong with that person.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. City of Champions right here. Right?
You know, everybody always falls back to I have a black friend.
We do though. Tyrone, what's up, Ty?
Or I have a
He listens though. He told me he listens every once in a while.
I can't be mean. I know some gay people. You know what? I work with a gentleman who is gay, and I have asked him some very poignant questions because it's not my life. I don't understand it. I don't see it from his point of view. And people have looked at me like,
I mean, it depends if he's the.
well, yeah, but since the thing is, people have looked at me like,
I'm sorry, that was probably, I don't know.
like shocked, like, why you can't ask that kind of question.
Why
And I-
can't you
and I-
though?
And
That's
I,
funny.
but that was my thing is I looked back at them and said, I'm asking because
Okay.
it's not my life. I want to
You know
understand.
what's funny that you say that is,
And he jumped on my side and said, no, 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 no. If I thought he was being bigotous
Or malicious,
mean
yeah.
or malicious, I would have put my foot down. He goes, but to have an open dialogue with someone that is not, someone that you don't understand, that's where you really build, let's say, and I know we can take this and make fun of it, but you build a bond with someone. And it's like, okay, now I understand it from a gay man's point of view,
so one of my coworkers,
black point of view, Mexican point of view.
so one of my coworkers, her oldest son is gay, right? And she was having a conversation with him, and she wanted to know if he was like the giver or the taker, I guess.
Okay.
And then the son got all embarrassed. Was like, "Oh my God, can we get to that question or whatever?"
Which, if you're talking to your mom, you said it was his mom?
yeah, it was his mom.
That's fucking awkward, even having a straight heterosexual.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But in her, I mean, she's not being like
Malicious.
Yeah, she's like
it's her
just
son.
she's trying to realize like what kind of man is my son,
Let,
and like is he
help
is
me
he,
understand.
yeah,
you.
and I think that's what you're saying on your end at least, with the conversation you were having with your coworker or whatever. But dude, that's the reason why like, and I know this doesn't sound like really like probably racist, but like when Jamaro came on, like I was excited about it because I really wanted to hear his point of view. I mean, he's a black dude that grew up in fucking Pico with
Yep.
that was majority Mexican.
Yep.
You know what I mean? His point of view on life is different than a black man that grew up in Compton,
Right.
around 70-80% black people and 20% Hispanic and whatever white people. You know what I mean? It's a different point of view, like it really is. And all you really hear is the latter. You know, the people that are
Mhm.
that grew up in predominantly black areas, where he's like the anomaly almost. You know what I mean?
People laugh at me. Look, I joke about who I am as a person, but I love who I am. I am a country boy who grew up slant-eyed in East LA. There are so many minorities built into my own life. I kick it with all Mexicans and I love who they are. I don't fit into your typical bubble. And I think a lot of people will jump on my case, especially when we talk about like immigration or something like that. They'll jump, well, you don't understand because you're white. No, wait a minute. There weren't too many Shiosakas on the Mayflower. My family came here too. I just have a different perspective of it. And I think what happens, and we've kind of taken this specific topic or this specific situation and gone very broad on it, and that's okay.
We got deep today.
But my thing is, if this person posted this, and even if he meant it with the most bigotrous attitude, I want to know. I don't want you to cover up people who try and spread hate. I don't want that. I want you to allow everyone to see it, because that gives me an opportunity to take my son and point and say, those people hate you because of this, this, and this. That's who they are. The bottom line is, do you know how many times you go shopping and the CEO of the company that you're purchasing something from is a pedophile, racist, bigotrous, or anti-Semite, anti-feminine, whatever it might be. There are evil people at the tops of all corporations. Call them out. Don't hide them. Don't have this person be fired because of his point of view. Let's see how many people truly do hate.
Well, it's not the same thing. But what I'm hearing from you is, and there's a meme that went around with like the Kardashians, and it's like all of them when they were like before they got famous.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're not ugly, you're just poor.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting at is, it's not that you're racist, it's just you're too poor to fucking hide it.
Hide it. Exactly. You know, the Houston owner, the owner of the Houston Texans, let me rephrase that and put it in a correct sentence. The owner of the Houston Texans recently passed away, and God rest his soul.
Yeah, he was a racist.
I'm sure that for the most part, so I'm going to take what you just said. Why do you say he was a racist?
Didn't he like say like I didn't want no like colored players or something like that? Or I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong.
They brought it up recently, and that's why it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
Because also I was in bed all fucking week just reading and researching. He said about the NFL players taking a knee and making the policies.
Oh, he didn't want the
Inmates running the
asylum-
prison.
The asylum, right? Oh, was it prison?
He said the prison,
Okay.
and that's where he messed up. If he would have said, we don't want the inmates running the asylum, I don't think it would have been quite as
The asylum
racist.
is like the psych ward, right?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
But because you said prison, and everybody in social media took prison and said black people, now it became a racist statement.
Minority. I think that's what it was. Minority, because there's more minorities in jail than there are.
However, it became a racist statement. And that shook me. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't. He may have been, he died at like 90 years old. I can almost guarantee you, he was a racist old white man.
I would say majority of owners are probably though.
Probably, except for Mr. Khan that owns
The Jaguars.
the Jaguars.
Yeah.
He's Middle Eastern, so. But he's probably racist too. But in a different fashion, because he comes from the Middle East and he may have racist ties to different ethnic groups in the Middle East. The point I'm trying to make is that
Who was it? The two countries that hate each other, like Jerusalem and like, or they're like right
no,
next,
India and
They're, like, right next to each
Pakistan,
other?
and they're this, yeah,
and they look the same, and they're like, we don't look the same.
and also Israel and Palestine.
I guess whenever you say a race looks the same, they get all mad.
They
so.
get real mad, yeah. My thing is, I think my concern for this society is where we are currently and where we're going to be. We went with the pendulum over here to, nah, if you're not white, you're not cool. And then we swung so far to the other way that it's like, if I'm even a little bit offended, your entire life is, you're fired.
Well,
you have to-
I will say this though, our fucking country, we're so soft,
so sensitive.
so soft, so sensitive. Like there's so many things that like
I completely agree.
that bother people that are just like, come on.
Even
bro.
HR. Even HR is, you have to go by the most sensitive person in the room.
You're grading on a scale.
You're grading on a scale. But that's where I go back to, I'm concerned because it is a pendulum. It has swung from insensitivity to oversensitivity. And I'm afraid that it eventually will swing back to the point of insensitivity again.
No, I think that. So the great Gary Vee talks about how people nowadays want to talk shit about not millennials, what is it, Generation Z or whatever the fuck they are.
Whatever the next is.
And how they're lazy and they don't want, all they want to do is play video games or whatever. And he's like, you do realize you fucking raised them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have no one else to blame but yourself. So for you guys giving out 8th place trophies,
Right.
and everybody gets participation awards, and like everyone's soft now, and
It's your fault.
it's your fault. You have no one to blame but yourself. And I definitely think that as a country, we're fucking soft. But
One of the things, I completely agree with you, and I know that's going to piss off the blacks.
Casey Blacks.
Casey Black and yeah. Again, people are going to assume
I'm
that's
just saying,
racist.
you need to clarify.
Yeah, but see, people jump to racism. But
Because it sounds funny. That's why.
one of the things is I have noticed that the next generation coming up, they don't have the standard social skills. And I don't know if that's coming from the electronic age of texting and they could probably text a conversation much better than they can have in person. But if you go places and there's 18 to 24-year-olds behind the register, it's difficult to have a normal
Well, we do this
interaction.
all the time. I've gone to lunch with you, and like someone's like, "How are you doing?" And they're just asking you because that's what they're supposed to do.
How's your day going?
And you go, "Oh, my day's great. How's your doing?" And they,
It's good.
yeah, they're not used to like
Yeah.
people actually like responding.
Or I'll be like, you know what, I've had a really lazy day, I haven't done a damn thing, and if this guy wouldn't have dragged me out of bed, I'd probably still be in my pajamas right now. How's your day going? And they go,
775.
did you want to get a combo? But what I actually enjoy, and what I'm raising my son to do is to separate the wheat from the chaff. To separate and say, okay, son, I'm gonna teach you how to have a normal fucking conversation with someone. And what that's gonna do is put him heads and shoulders, all things being equal, the ability to interact with all levels of management, all levels of wealth, all levels, it's gonna put him a mile ahead of these other individuals who
Well, it also just
don't
depends.
have that skill.
It just depends on what you want him to do. Like,
You know what?
I was watching the podcast of Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, and that guy is.
Which one, Joe or Elon?
I mean, Joe's smart as fuck.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Elon is obviously a genius. Okay, so like when Joe Rogan was telling Elon Musk like whatever, I don't know. He was talking about like flying cars or some shit, right? And Elon Musk was explaining to him how like that's not a probability or whatever. You could see it in his eyes and his mind. They were working in a way where he was visualizing and seeing and the positives and negatives and all that shit fucking combined and like why something can and cannot happen, right? Well, he obviously is one of the richest men in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I think, and I mean, don't quote me on this, but like I think that with you and your situation with your son, like you just want him to be a well-rounded individual to be able to talk to people technically.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by technically meaning like fucking.
Talk to nerds in nerd talk, and
that's
that's
that's offensive.
That's fine.
Talk to people on fucking what is it called?
On a binary code.
Codes. There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking codes, whatever. And then turn around and be able to talk to people in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I think that's like those are skills that you definitely need to have because unless you're Elon Musk, I mean, you can be a great code writer or whatever, and you probably still make a lot of money, whatever. But like,
You're not
somebody needs to sell that. I mean, even in the movie The Facebook, which I don't know if this is true or not, but that other guy that made Napster, Sean Parker or whatever the fuck is his name? Sean? No, is that
I know what you're talking
something
about.
Parker?
Yeah.
He's the one that sold the Facebook
Right.
for him because he was a better talker.
Mm-hmm.
He had the smarts and the fucking being able to talk to people, whatever.
The person
Personality,
skills.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
One of the things that you and I have talked about and we've kind of addressed is that, and I'm gonna inflate your ego a little bit. Not that your head needs to get any bigger. I've seen your hat size.
7 5/8.
But you have the ability to talk with nerds on Nerd Talk. And I know I say that and it's like, what a jerk. But if you talk to somebody who is extremely intelligent, but loves Excel and loves coding and SharePoints and these computer programs, they're a different personality. You were telling me about a coworker that you worked with, and this individual was a very smart person, but they were nerdy like that. You would ask them, "Hey, we're going over to the 1-2-3 burger. You hungry? You want a burger?" "No, I don't want a burger." But he would go to the same restaurant and get a hot dog. Well, hey, dude, we were there. We would have gotten it for you. "No, you asked me if I wanted a burger. I wanted a hot dog." You have the ability to go, all right, this person, like, I can't ask them if they want a burger because they're going to say no. hey, we're gonna go here. Do you want us to pick you up some lunch? And do you want us? Then you talk to somebody who is more flowery in their speech, and you go, hey, I'm grabbing a burger. Do you want something? You, and I'm going to put myself in that category too. You and I have the ability to go and talk to the CEO of a company who may bring home 10 to 20 million dollars a year. And we can talk to them, and I tend to get nervous, but yet not uncomfortable having the conversation with them and bringing value to the table. I can also talk to the treasurer of a company who might get $60,000 a year and talk to them and be comfortable speaking with them. I can talk to their IT department and work with them. And I think you can too. And that's really what I want my son to learn, because I think that's what this upcoming society is going to be missing, is that interpersonal skills. And I know we've gone way off topic, but
When are we ever on topic?
that's true. But that's really what.
I don't disagree. I really think that you need all those facets in life. I mean, so we had to take a personality test at my last job, right? And, you know, there's scores, you know, whatever. Like, there's like, for a salesman, you need to score in these parameters. If you're in accounting, you need to score in these parameters. If you're in fucking HR, you need to score in these parameters. What's up?
And I do want to say that I hate the fact that you say if you're in sales, you have to score in this parameter.
It's suggested.
It's suggested. Because there are people who are not salesmen, they're not flowery, but they're just introverts, for example, but go, here's how you can solve
It's not necessarily that it was
just better fits,
it was
I
a
guess.
wide range, so there was like
okay.
a gray area almost. So if as long as you were at the minimum of this, then you could be considered for that position.
Okay.
Not saying that you could never be in that position, but like the way you answer the questions.
People better fit. It's more comfortable for
Exactly for that, just by the way you answered your questions.
Right.
But I remember because I had to do my employees, like the ones that did the test, and we had to talk to them, whatever. So then when I finally got my results back, I was like, so how like mine go? He goes, you know what? You're the only employee that we had that is capable, according to this, to do every job with the company.
Really?
I wasn't great in some aspects. I wasn't horrible in others. I was just down the middle. I was like the most well-rounded individual. And I remember Robert Mendez had told me this one time, and I really didn't understand what he meant at the beginning. I mean, I knew what he meant. I mean, but like now that like I've gone older, like I'm seeing it like come to fruition. Like he called me like a jack of all trades, master of none, and I get that now because
I love that title.
Dude, like I'm like you were talking about how being like a well-rounded individual and like understanding your surroundings or whatever. And don't get me wrong, there's sometimes I'm very stubborn to those things because I want to be who I'm gonna be.
Right.
Just because I don't care if I'm in front of the CEO, I'm gonna be me. Now, am I gonna be me dumbed down a little bit? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I just sometimes I can be stubborn, and that's just me getting my own way. But it's not that I'm not aware of the situation.
You know, I think once you bought your own home, you became, it opened up a new chapter of that jack of all trades. Because when I worked on my house, and this is the joke that we have passed back and forth for about a decade now.
I was a terrible person.
We're all putting in a new driveway at my place, and Richard came with everyone else, and we're sweating, working.
Came to support.
You came to support. You offered tons of support. You really helped us empty out the ice chest so that we didn't have to lift all the beer to take it inside.
True.
You really helped us clear out some of the pizza boxes to make sure that there wasn't extra food left over.
It's definitely true.
We fucking worked our ass off all weekend, and Rich didn't lift a fucking finger. True story. True story. And I remember you saying something like, "Look, I don't ever want to get my hands dirty. I want to be able to pay somebody to do everything." And that is, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a goal.
I
It's not true though.
it's
It's not.
No.
It's not the reality.
no. I was gonna say it's still a goal, but it's not where we're all at this point. We put in Richard's floor. We've done a lot, and you've gotten your hands a lot more dirty as you've gotten.
I had to grow up. for sure.
And me, I take pride in being the jack of all trades. I do put a suit on. I do go in a conference room. I can put a fucking killer PowerPoint together.
You're gonna need one for this fucking.
I know
year's
we're gonna.
upcoming,
I'm already
basketball
I'm
league.
already starting to like lay it out in my mind for next year's meeting. But I can talk finance with anyone.
I can talk about finances all day too.
But I can also take my. Oh, that was good. It took me a second. Yeah, no, that was good. But I can also take my suit off and I can put.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, I can put grease under my hands and I can take a car.
See, and I'm not to that point yet, but
And you've seen, we've worked on things. I can take my hands and I can put them in an engine of a car and I can get them greasy. I can take and I can build with, you know, just about anything at Home Depot. That's where I am, my future mother-in-law calls me her handyman. When she needs a handy, I'm out there stroking her off. But the things that need to be done around her house for upkeep, whether
that's
it be
horrible.
plumbing, whether it be building, whether it
checking
be
the pipes.
yeah, clearing those pipes out. That's where I take pride.
When I take pride in the fact that you went and you drew him fucking East Los.
Yep.
That's what I fucking appreciate.
That's my jack of all trades, and that's what I'm trying to impart into my son.
Yeah, I think that I appreciate the fact that I'm that person, and I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm where I'm at, and that's the reason why we're doing this podcast. It's fucking thinking outside the box and just doing it or whatever. But I think we're done, dude. I don't think there's really much else to say. I hear somebody arguing in the.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
In
in
the
our,
lobby.
in our lobby.
Hopefully, it's not a
um,
Tupac situation.
Oh fuck! Or what was it? 8 Mile? Wasn't there a fight right behind the?
What?
Didn't Eminem get in a fight in the studio in 8 Mile?
Oh yeah, well, all
Right.
they do was fucking this chick.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
I
thank
hope
you so much for putting up with Marco last week. I know he let you all down, but I'm back. I'm herpy free, and
Hey, I appreciate everybody that listened last week. I know it was different. Obviously, Kevin not here or whatever, but don't leave us again.
no. But
The show must go on, though. The
no,
show
you know what?
must go on.
I will admit, it definitely it was like a vacation from a job that you really love. Like
You didn't really
the
want
vacation
to.
was cool, but I sat in bed on Wednesday night and went like, I wish I was here. This is fun. Like Richard says, do it, try it. It's fun. He encourages a lot of other people to do their podcast.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I want fucking Jamar to come on. I want fucking Martha to come on. I want like people to come on and promote their shit.
this shit's fun. It really is. You get to
So-
hang out with your friends, shoot the shit.
So hold on real quick. What are the next two fast food restaurants?
Oh,
We have
so
we have
yeah.
about, we have about 5 minutes.
Okay, so who won last week? Because obviously, I was down and out, man. I missed it.
Burger King lost 21-10,
Wow.
and then but both Marco and Marco and Charlie won last week, and they both voted Burger King, right? So this is how I know that our podcast, at minimum, is touching people, like mentally, not physically, because we're not touching nobody.
Well,
I mean, you're touching your fiance, but that's about it.
you're touching the
And yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So Charlie called me and was like, "Hey, you know, you had talked about Del Taco, and you know, so I went ahead and tried it. I hadn't tried it in a long time, so I wanted to see what you guys were talking about. And I absolutely fucking hated it.
He hated Del Taco.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, you know what, dude? I don't give a like. I'm happy that you hated it. I'm happy that you hated. He's like, I hate the hot sauce. I hated the
Really?
fucking mild sauce. It was da da da. And he's like, the only thing I liked about it is they gave me a lot of cheese.
Mm.
And I said, you know what? You gotta understand one thing. Out of all this that's happened, the fact that you even went out of your way to try it, just to prove me, whoever else voted for it wrong, that's where I think we're winning. Because I think with that aspect of it, it's bigger than just Del Taco versus fucking Burger King. It's we're making people think.
Go
Like
outside.
regardless, like
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So anyway,
So our number 4 versus number 13 matchup, and this one might get controversial. So Let us know what you think on this one. The underdog, 13, is Wiener Schnitzel versus number 4, Starbucks.
That's weird, but all right.
Why is it weird?
Well, they're not,
And we've talked about this.
yeah,
so I know
because
the answer.
I don't think Starbucks is fast food, but that's fine.
Interesting. Is Starbucks fast food?
I don't see it as a fast food restaurant, but I can understand why they do have they do have a fucking drive-through.
Right.
You can get like
Food.
sandwiches and like fucking whatever, but
It's actually almost like a fast food grocery because you can pick up coffee. You can get a coffee maker. It's like
you just have two of the same things.
coffee and a coffee maker.
Yeah, one makes the other.
Well, it's interesting. So let us know what you think on this one. Number 4, Starbucks versus number 13, Wiener Schnitzel. Do you prefer the chocolate star or the
I
Wiener?
feel like this one's gonna get more comments because we got like 1 or 2 comments on the last post, the last 2 posts, but it was only comments. It was like, oh, this one's so much better. I don't even know why you're asking that question. This one's gonna be like, how are they the
Starbucks
same?
doesn't count. Yeah.
How are they the same?
Wiener Schnitzel is.
Which one do you like better?
Yeah.
Period.
That's it.
So we'll find out next week. Love you guys. Appreciate it, man.
Peace. See, I don't even think it's. I don't know if you would say which one do you like. I think
Just which one is better?
which one. Pick one.